You're listening to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Beans and Dice podcast, a podcast about how we game. Welcome, Max.
Thank you.
I'm Carlos.
I'm William.
And that's Max. Max Burns is a member of our game group. I've known him for a long time, many, many years. Max and I have played games together. He's joining us for the first time tonight, and he's going to be a part of our show. With Rob not here, I figured we'd fill in with another.
Yeah, I'm not Rob.
You're not Rob. This is not Rob.
I have a cup.
You actually have a container with a lid,
Yes.
and you're respecting the game table by not spilling drinks.
Nope.
Yep.
But, I was Rob before there was a Rob.
You were but you're happy now because nobody's giving you flack anymore.
Exactly. At least mine wasn't caught on camera.
Let's get this phone line open.
I wasn't there for that one.
It was Max, and it was years ago. We were playing Scythe. I think it was your first time playing Scythe.
Yeah, first time.
And he had we had some libations that night, and I believe he said this game sucks, and then proceeded to
Spilled beer?
spill the beer all over the table
I just took that bottle and put it upside down and went to town. I don't want anybody playing that anymore.
because it was a horrible game.
Yep.
Did you?
However, you ended up winning the
second.
Fenris campaign, right?
No, I came close, but I had to miss 2 nights of that. And I came in.
That's why.
I came in second.
You missed 2 nights, and you still came in second.
But the second time we did play Scythe here, I did win on the last turn as Saxony.
And you still, in that game, said, this game sucks.
This game sucks.
I agree.
But I don't think he's talking about the game. I think he's talking about the situation that he's in.
Right. But definitely when I have my analysis paralysis, I say this sucks.
Right. And so he's not, the this in that word is not the game side. The this is the situation you're in.
But I did think that was bad because of I didn't like how there was no random setup. I didn't like the fact that
Phone line's open, 813-618-7099. I just want to let everybody know I opened up the phone line, so call in and talk to us. We're talking tonight about Dice Tower Retreat, but we're just going to rabble and babble until somebody calls us to give us some tips and tricks.
We're free. Rob's not here to wrangle us in, so it's wild and loose.
So you were talking about Scythe, and you didn't like it because of what?
I didn't like it how it was basically the same setup every time. And I know since then they've corrected it, but I have not had a chance to play the random setup version.
Yeah, Stegmeyer sent me a copy of the what he calls the modular board system. I'm excited and looking forward to getting that with a big group.
Oh boy, I'm not gonna be here for that one.
I think I might just take it to Dice Tower's got to have everything. Dice Tower Retreat has to have Scythe in the library.
That's in the library for sure.
But I like to bring my own games too. Phone lines open, 813-618-7099. We're talking to you all about Dice Tower Retreat. It's coming up next week. William and I are going. We've got some friends meeting us up there. I think it's like 8 of us.
Yes.
And I think we're all cramming in like one hotel room.
No, you're going.
I'm getting my own room.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about getting my own room.
You're thinking about it?
I'm thinking about it.
It wasn't too expensive.
It's if I'm going to go on vacation and spend a little money on myself.
All right, we got in the chat, we got a Christian Adventure Gamer. That's Daniel Cervantes of Warsaw, Indiana, I think it is, or somewhere in Indiana. And then Board Game Battles, that is Mitchell, who's going to be joining us at Dice Tower Retreat.
Yeah, that'll be his first, actually.
Mitchell says, false advertisement. I know for a fact that Rob won't be on the stream tonight, but he's in the thumbnail.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Brian Liming in the chat says, yes, Dice Tower has Scythe in the library. I'm just wondering if they have the modular expansion. It's one of those weird expansions.
It's probably going to be one of the ones where it's probably got everything in one big box. Knowing how Tom and the crew does, they usually take insert and goes, insert, we don't need this. And they take it out and they just put everything in the box.
Have you seen that show before?
Yeah, they just put everything in that box.
No respect.
Right. People get feisty about, number one, component drops, like chucking the inserts and just putting everything back in the box the way it is. But he did separate the expansions. I'm watching and reading some of the folks talking about the Dice Tower retreat and the library. And supposedly he's got all the library organized, but then there's a shelf called X for just expansions.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That
So
makes
you can
sense.
go pull the base game, and
Right.
then you go see if the expansion's on the shelf. Wayne Kruger in the chat saying hi.
Hello, Wayne.
Rob is here in spirit,
Hello,
is what he's saying. Again, phone lines open, 813-618-7099. We are just going to talk trash and babble
There, I'll-
until somebody calls in and gives us
For
something
Rob.
better to talk. Oh, in honor of
Oh
Rob.
man.
Yeah. Oh, wait, it didn't spill. Sorry, never mind.
But I was talking about Max being here. Max tonight showed up. We did a quick stream of the first half of our Blood Bowl match. We are in week 10. Usually I save Blood Bowl for the end of the show, but Max
Uh-oh.
is here.
Thank you.
Beans and Nice Podcast. State your name and where you're calling from.
This is Mitchell from Louisiana.
Oh, thank God. I don't want to hear Blood Bowl.
Glad to be of assistance in that regard, then.
Brother, that hurts.
I don't care.
So I guess my first question is, since Rob is not here, do we get to just like bash him the whole time?
I've already done that a couple
That's
times.
the plan.
Yeah, I've noticed the references to the bottle spilling.
Yes.
So that was a good, not so subtle one.
See, but Max can't talk because he is the original Sippy Cup. Like
Yeah.
Max is Sippy Cup
It
1.0.
doesn't matter,
I had
man.
to live
It's-
with that for at least 3 years.
It passed. The torch is passed, man.
Every time we played a game, it was always mentioned.
Well, we're gonna have to have a little trophy made or something like that.
Mitchell, we're talking Dice Tower Retreat. We're going to get to see you soon. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm excited. I've never been to Dice Tower before. My first real big convention was I've talked about it before, whenever I met up with Will at Gen Con. I know this will be a little bit different, not events and things, more just open
Yeah,
gaming.
this is
but
going to be smaller in scale for sure, but
Right,
I think it's
right.
going to be larger in, I guess in gaming events. I should say. Basically, you're going to be gaming all day long, and it's not going to be like Gen Con
Yeah.
was, where there was a lot of downtime. This one, you
Yeah, no, I'm down for that. That's-
this one you can choose when you can have downtime. So
Do they have?
Yeah, which what it sounds like the way you guys run is like never, which is what I like to hear. So,
yeah, it's literally if we do it right, usually we grab a few games from the game library, we just stack it on the table, and then we just go from there.
Is there any competitive
sounds like a
play?
plan.
Yeah, well, not okay. So I've never been to Dice Tower Retreat, and I'm hoping. I know Mark Stang's in the chat now. I know he's going to call in later to talk about it. I know Dice Tower had tournaments. Robert and I did
Pandemic,
tournaments.
which was
Rob did, I think, like a Ticket to Ride tournament, and he did some other tournaments. And usually, the small tournaments they do, they give away the game at the end of the night. You win, you take. I think they call it win and take.
I did a Mage Wars one like years ago.
So no, Mitchell, the competitive side isn't as big. I can't imagine because it's going to be like 200 people at Dice Tower Retreat.
Well, I'm excited nonetheless. So yeah, it's just less than a week away now.
I know it's getting real. Like I'm starting to plan my meal. Like, what am I eating? When am I eating it?
It's a 4-letter
Oh my
word
gosh.
with another 4-letter word at the end of
I
it.
don't plan for that. I'll plan the games, but that's about it. We had in that chat thread, Rob was listing what games he wanted to check out, and I looked through the library to see which ones I wanted to see as well. But then they've added some new ones since then. They've got some from Spiel and some Arcane Wonders previews, I think is what I saw. So I definitely want to check out those.
Yeah, I think Arcade Wonders is usually a staple for Dice Tower. They're usually always there.
And I thought they added some swag for us from, I believe, Arcane Wonders is dropping some games for
Yeah,
us.
2 free games, everybody. That's pretty
Wow.
cool. I didn't know that whenever I bought the ticket, so that was like a little extra freebie. That I'm sure it's
Well,
in the ticket price, but I didn't know
let's
about
hope
it.
we can take it on the plane, man.
no, it's not as big as Ankh was, which I was able to fit after Gen Con.
Well, I think Carlos is looking it up right now. But
What else you got,
I know,
Mitchell?
I know Tapestry's not a big staple at you guys' table, but have you guys seen they announced the second expansion just a couple days ago?
I did. That I did.
Mhm.
So this one actually appeals to me a lot more than the previous expansion. The previous expansion, Planes and Ploys, it didn't add any new mechanic. It was just more cards, more of the same, more buildings, which I mean, those expansions are all right, but I could do with or without them. But this actually is adding some new mechanics, which I like, but I don't know if I like what the new mechanics are. So it's adding a 5th track, which is like the arts track, which it's cool. You know, I'm a theater teacher. I can get behind the thematics of art. But I already thought that the game was a little weird in that. So it's a 5-player game, and there are 4 tracks. I just feel like you're supposed to sit by the track that you focus on. But anyway, now there's a 5th track, but it's not a new board. It's just like a little thing you put off to the side. It's not like they're making a 5-sided board. And so that kind of weirds me out. And then they have new dice now because the science die, I think it was, I don't remember how many sided die it was, I guess a D8. Yeah, because there were equal chances for all 4 tracks. Now they have a D20. So it's supposed to be like modular. You can play with or without certain pieces, but I don't know. You guys have any opinions, or do you guys not like Tapestry enough to care?
If we can shorten the game time of Tapestry, I would be much more inclined to play it more often. I feel like it's a big roll and write, but when I've played it, it's taken 2.5 hours. Am I doing something wrong, Mitchell?
How many people are you playing with?
Usually 4.
I feel like it's a little bit long for a 4-player game. If I have a full 5-player game, I could see maybe pushing 2 hours. But again, we've played it into the ground, so I guess our turns are quicker.
Yeah.
But like especially a 2 or 3-player game, we can knock it out in under an hour easily.
I think Mitchell's gonna get a rude awakening play with some of our people at Dice Tower.
Yeah, we do have some analysis paralysis, folks.
Mitchell, you're not gonna get away with playing quick games there. I can tell you that much.
Oh no!
I'm just
I might have to leave early.
I'm letting you know right now.
And maybe that's why, for me, it's like I'm just sitting around watching most people take their time deciding what track.
But it doesn't matter because you're there for what, 4 days? Who cares?
I'm excited.
So yeah, you can take your time.
I did see the box art. It looks gorgeous. I've got the second expansion or the first expansion for Tapestry. But what I found when I opened that up was it was just more of the same and then some corrections of the factions. So
the rebalancing.
Yeah, maybe something in this new one will help speed it up. But it sounds like it's adding more decision points, which hurts Robert's brain.
Well, from what I read, so what's really cool, first of all, is that there was a fan-made expansion. They posted on BGG, and Stegmeyer came across it and was like, "Hey, let's go design this," and which is really cool. Develop it together. Yeah, it's exciting. You know, because you see stuff like that all the time. You're like, this isn't legitimate, but now it's becoming legit. That's cool. But the basic premise is that it's kind of, I don't want to call it a new resource, but a new type of something that you can get called Great Works or something like that give you like really good bonuses. So it may actually speed up the game a bit, like you were saying, Carlos. But at the same time, if you're going up that new track, it's going to be slowing down what you're doing on the other tracks, so it may all net out to the same amount of time. I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think I'm going to back it. I think I'm going to pre-order it next month, and maybe I'll give you guys my review and see if it fixes some of those issues you guys have.
I did pull up the email, and the 2 Arcane Wonder games are Architect. That's not even English, but English is not my first language.
Architectura.
Thank you. And Sherlock 13. Those are the 2 games that we're going to be getting.
Good Lord. Wow, they're like
Have you guys heard of those games
they're like a $20 game and a $18 game.
Not bad. I've not
heard
of them
played those
before.
I've never even heard of them. Yeah.
Does it matter?
They seem like card games.
They look pretty. They look like pretty light, average to low rated games on BGG. I was looking them up the other day.
Yeah, but where freeness exists, it is folly to resist.
What's that slogan? Free for
There
me?
you go.
If it's free, it's for me.
What's that?
If it's free, it's for me.
See, this one, the Sherlock 13, reminds me of a game that we got at CMON Expo. It was that detective game, and I think it was called 13 Clues or something. There's a blind board, and you're asking questions of each other to try to rule things out, almost like a Clue-ish game, and deduce something. So it looks like Sherlock 13 plays on that same vibe because there's a blindfold board or I don't know what to call that board.
A screen?
That's the word. I'm glad I have William here.
Jeez.
English is not my first language.
Did you guys? I'm sorry, I'm changing the subject, but I'm just thinking of news. Did you guys see they announced the next? And I didn't even know there was going to be another trilogy in the whole North Sea, West Kingdom series from Renegade Game Studios. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, we played it
Paladins
at our
and Architect
last.
and all that.
We played Raiders at the last game day.
Yeah, well, they just announced the trilogy on the South Tigris. It's set in like Baghdad, so I thought that was a different choice to go over their next one. It's going to be based around dice, so I'm sure Rob will.
Oh yeah, he's gonna play that for sure.
Because they did the whole worker placement one. They did the Rondell one.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the one that kind of combines them all. What mechanism are they going with on this new one? Did you figure that one out?
That's what I'm saying. Dice. Yeah, dice.
Dice is our mechanism.
The main mechanism. Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to seeing you. It'll be less than a week. I'll be driving to Orlando to pick you up from the airport. I'll fit you somehow in my tiny Ford Ranger. We'll get you in there.
With 100 games in the back seat, I'm sure.
Well, that's what I got the pickup truck for, bro. The truck's gonna haul it all
with the topper.
with the topper.
Hopefully it's not raining. Oh, you got a topper. Okay.
Yeah, I think.
Sometimes.
It's waterproof, right? It's not going to leak in the end.
That's where all the games are stored. Is the game lockers where I keep my games. You know,
I think an event's gonna happen when he gets there.
It's gonna be awesome. I'll see you in a week, Mitchell. Thanks for calling, man.
Yeah, see you guys. Thanks. Bye.
Phone lines open again, 813-618-7099. Get in while the getting's good. Talk to us about your experiences with Dice Tower Retreat. Give us tips on what to do. We are driving in Wednesday. I'm driving in Wednesday for my first day of Dice Tower Retreat.
No, you're a day behind us.
Wednesday. I wanted to go Tuesday, but I have to work Wednesday.
I'm not leaving Tuesday. We changed it.
Oh, you guys aren't going Tuesday?
No, that's not from what I heard of. Maybe I got to talk to Rob about that, but I think
okay. So maybe you guys pushed it back too, because Robert and I were talking about going Tuesday night,
right?
Sleeping in the parking lot.
No, God, no, I ain't doing that. No,
Didn't Robert?
Robert used to do that. Robert used to go to Dice Tower, sleep in the parking lot.
Yeah, no, my days of living like kind of like that. No, for just a convention. No, I'm going to sleep well.
I'm pretty sure it was like he wasn't sure he was going to make it.
Right.
And he was like, "Well, I can make it,
but I got no room." And I got my car and some granola bars. That was Rob. This before I went. Rob went to Dice Tower without me. I think it was 2 years without me. Kept trying to get me to go, but it was always on 4th of July weekend.
It's weird because I was going there before him.
See, in the first year that I went was the first year I saw you, and I'm like, William, because then I remember William from playing X-Wing. You know, as soon as I saw him there, and guess what?
You guys had to leave a day early, and I was like, wait, I got room in my hotel room. Just crash here for one more night. And they did, just so you guys can play an extra day of gaming.
We all crashed in Will's room. So Robert and I shared a bed, like usual. Not unheard of.
He's like heads opposite?
Yep. Head to toes.
To smell each other's feet?
See, but then Rob, knowing the type of guy he is, he built a pillow wall. You know, he built a wall, a great big wall of pillows, put it between us. And thank you, William, for letting us crash in your room. He even fed us that first year.
Wow.
He had these like croissant sandwiches, were they? Like microwavable breakfast sandwiches?
Yeah. I had like all this extra food. I'm like, I'm not eating it all. It's going to go to waste. So here you go. Y'all
so that next morning, it was the last day of the con.
And then it was the year after, I brought like all this food, and like Saturday during the afternoon, I was like, all right, guys, we played a big game. We were playing Scythe. And, I was like, and I brought like all the snacks at this table.
The last day, he brought everything down from his room.
All this food. It was like 2 bags of Oreo cookies, 2 bags of Doritos, all this stuff. And I was like, all right, guys, eat it all.
That was the year that Greg taught us Scythe. Yeah, that was the first year I bought it right then and there, right after that.
I plan on bringing a lot of food this time, too. Just like those kind of snacky foods, because it saves money in the end.
See, this was all Dice Tower, not Dice Tower Retreat, which is completely different.
But it's in the same location, so I'm going to treat it as...
But Dice Tower was like 3,500 people-ish. Am I right, folks? 3,500 people, is that the number? I think it was something like that.
There. But I'm still going to treat it as though it is, like Dice Tower, just with smaller numbers. That's it.
But it's going to be like... It would be like one room. It would be like the war game room of Dice Tower, right? That's going to be like the whole retreat. It feels like it's going to be very tight. I don't think I've ever been to a convention or a event this small. I know we put together events for Your Turn and Armada, and we get 25 people or so.
If they use that one room, that main room for gaming hall, like did when we go to a normal Dice Tower, that'll be plenty.
I don't think it's going to be that big room.
I think it will be.
We'll find out.
I think it will be.
Well, we'll ask. Well, and also, I know Mark Stang's been there before. He's in the chat, and hopefully he's listening. It used to be in Miami, if I'm right. Now they've moved it up to Orlando. Right. But I think they still had one in Miami, I feel. I think this is the first time Dice Tower Retreat has gone to Orlando.
Well, it's the first time in a long time that all these conventions are coming back to some kind of
Normalcy.
Which is kind of why they did it in Orlando, because they canceled the last 2 Dice Towers.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe that? 2. Last 2 Dice Towers did not happen.
I don't know, because it's been a long time since I've been to a con myself, so.
They still have some tickets.
I still have my original ticket from 2 years ago, and I keep getting an email every year saying, "Yeah, don't worry, your ticket's been rolled over. Ticket's rolled over."
All right, well, let's take a phone call here. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
This is Mark from Columbus.
Well, hello, Mark. Pleasure to hear from you again.
How's it going?
We are doing well. We had some Blood Bowl tonight. I'm beating up on Max in Blood Bowl, and it makes me feel good.
It's terrible. I mean, my guys are already dead, and they're dying again.
The undead team is what he plays.
Gotcha.
Now, Mark, I'm going to ask some questions, Mark, if that's okay, because I know Rob invited me to a chat group that you're in, and it seems like you're very aware of the Dice Tower Retreat experience. Is that true?
Yeah, I've been to this will be my 4th Dice Tower Retreat. So.
A veteran.
I'm glad he's here on the phone. So William and I were kind of discussing the differences in what we expect to see with like room size, right? So I don't know if you've been to a Dice Tower event, like the basic Dice Tower convention from years past, where it's huge, 3,500 people. How much smaller does it feel when you go to a DTR, a Dice Tower Retreat, versus the DTC, the Dice Tower Con?
He had to do that.
So I haven't been to Dice Tower Con, but I've been to Dice Tower West, and I think they're fairly similar in size. And this, it's definitely smaller, but it doesn't feel small. The room feels, at least in the last couple of ones that we've been to, and this will be, those have been in Miami, this will be the first one in Orlando. And I think we're actually getting a slightly bigger room than we originally planned on. But in every case, the rooms feel spacious, right? The gaming room. There are plenty of tables for everybody to sit in. There's no crowding. There's always plenty of space. If you want to go find a table to play a game on, there's always a free table. So, but it doesn't also feel like you're only taking up half the room and half the room is empty or anything like that. So they've sized them pretty well, I think.
That's good. That's always a bad feeling when like less than half the room is being used. It just feels empty and
I think it's going to
quiet.
I think it'd be better because, one of the things when you go there and you start playing a game, especially it's a new game with rules, you're like, "Hey guys, you hear me?" No, I can't hear you at all.
Yeah, when you're like in the main hall at regular convention,
yeah,
you can't hear each other.
Yeah, it's much better because obviously there's fewer people, and the room is in the past, the rooms have always been big enough that that's not been a problem. So, it doesn't get too noisy.
So it sounds like it strikes a good balance. Because as Max said, the opposite is also bad. We went to Escape WinterCon this year, and it was echoes in the halls. It was like you and 5 other groups at certain times in one room, a large room, very empty. And it kind of feels weird.
Yeah. I think maybe if you get there really early in the morning or if you stay late at night, it'll start to get that way because people will, drift out as the evening goes on. And it'll start to get less and less crowded. And every once in a while there'll be a rock, especially in the evenings, there might be a raucous game going on of Time's Up or something else where people are shouting
Sonar.
at each other.
That's usually when my group
Sonar.
We bring out Sonar, we bring down our crokinole boards, we bring down tumbling dice, and we start doing crazy stuff.
Sonar's fun though.
And cockroach poker.
Sonar is the one that gets people riled up.
Especially when you're drinking and playing Sonar, like you go eat, drink, and then come back and do Sonar and try to draw lines. It's amazing.
And they get mad because they didn't record.
You get mad. You get mad at the communications officer. It's like, what? Shut up! I can't hear him.
So, Mark, those are my questions for you, but I'm going to let you tell me stories, tips, tricks, your experiences with Dice Tower Retreat. What do you have to share for us beans?
Okay, so I'll give you a quick overview of my history with Dice Tower Retreat. All right, real quick. First thing was the first Dice Tower Retreat. I went on a whim. Tom said something about it. I don't remember. I think it was 2018, and I just decided I was gonna. I said, you know what, I'm gonna go. I didn't know anybody. I was nervous if it would be a good idea or not. And it was great. I had a blast. I met so many people. People were so inviting. I didn't know anybody there, so I was always, being added into games. And I came away from that first Dice Tower Retreat with a lot of people that, well, after the first retreat, I don't know that I would call them good friends, but I considered them more than acquaintances. And so then the second Dice Tower Retreat, all those same people, we all came back. And there was one guy who said it best, Ben, who he said he went to the first retreat with a list of games he wanted to play, and he went to the second retreat with a list of people he wanted to play with. And
oh, that's good.
And I really thought that was a great thing, because part of the reason I keep coming back to the retreat is because there's a lot of repeat people, a lot of people who are coming to each year, and it's my chance to see them and hang out with them and really enjoy them. So that's a little bit of my history with it. As for stories, I've got tons of stories. I don't know if I can go through all of them right now.
We have some that really stand out, but is there any one story or one event? It doesn't have to be an inside story. You don't have to give those up, but anything that made like Dice Tower stick to you, like I'm coming back to this.
There's a story sitting right on the shelf.
Yes, there is. We have our own stories.
Yeah.
So I think the one for me that really cemented it, the very last day of my first retreat, we had closed down. We had packed up all the library into the boxes. We helped to pack,
Oh, you actually helped them pack.
Oh, yeah. We helped them pack up all the boxes. That the first one, the library wasn't, it was a bunch of plastic shelves. It wasn't this big thing that you see on the videos now, and it wasn't nearly as many games. And Tom's been curating that library over the years. In fact, the second retreat, we built the shelves. All those metal shelves that you see, they came to the second retreat in boxes, and we built them all
that's
with the Dice Tower gang. A whole bunch of people got together.
Those things get wheeled around.
Well, yeah. So that was, but anyway, that last day of the first retreat, a bunch of people had already left. We boxed up the games, and there was a group of us that sat down in that room. We had the room until like midnight or whatever, and we just had a couple of games that we all had kept, or brought ourselves. We played like Railroad Inc. and a couple other games, and then I broke out Skull. I don't know if you played Skull.
Oh yeah,
but
it's one of those loud games too.
We played that probably for the next 2 hours, and we just had a blast. And three of the guys from that night I consider my good friends now, and we just that game of Skull just cemented it. And we always have to have at least one game of Skull every retreat now. And so that was
like tumbling dice for us.
That's like our tumbling dice. Like that moment of playing tumbling dice while having some beers in the hotel room, and then finishing it downstairs, and then people joining us. That was like the event.
Make sure you let people know that we drink responsibly in our room.
We do away from the event, outside.
Just make sure that you put that out there.
So yeah, those moments, they really do make you think and look forward to that next one and try to recreate something like that.
So what I've done every Dice Tower year is if I go with you guys, which lately I've been going with you guys as a group, but before I was by myself, and then I would meet friends from our gaming groups locally. I would meet them up there. But one day, I pick a day, and I spend half the day where I don't even see you guys. I just play with random folks. That's what I do. I go look for a random table for random people, and I just, hey, can I join you? And I don't even know them, and I just do it that way, and you get some of the best games ever, especially when you get like social deduction games because you don't know anybody.
See, and that's Skull for Mark. Like Skull is something where you kind of have to know the person and their tells
but it's so
so hard to play with people you don't know.
But that's what makes it so much fun because you're like, you can be that. If you're a bad liar, you're automatically a good liar. So
I can't lie to Rob.
And
Rob will catch me lying every time.
The game just got better and better as we played, right? Because we started to pick up on each other's tells and we started to figure out. And that's, I think, part of the reason we were just, by the end of the night, we were just laughing so hard. And we've been in contact, like I said, ever since. The next year, we all went to the Dice Tower retreat. I went with a couple of them to PAX Unplugged. That was in 2019. I went to Gen Con with them in 2019. Well, I didn't go with them, but we met up at Gen Con. We didn't, we hung out some there. So I've really, it's been great. And I really encourage people to try to bring, I think, I don't know who was talking there, but play with other people, right? Because it gives you the chance to meet people. And
I'm the brown Rob.
Oh no.
I'm sorry, folks. I didn't mean to snore on Mike.
Yeah, I'm the one who's funny in here. Yeah, I'm the. I don't care. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Mark. I'm looking forward to meeting you in person. I've got a little personal swag bag set up for you. Mark is friends with Aaron. Aaron's one of our first callers that we had that called out of Florida. He called from Ohio, and Mark knows him, and Mark started joining into the show. So I'm looking forward to meeting Mark.
Do you want me to? Do I need to get one of those from the house?
We're going to. I got some swag for him. I got a swag kit for him and Aaron. So when we meet Mark in Orlando next week, Mark, I've got a swag bag for you and one for you to bring to Aaron with some of that beans and dice stuff. Some actual dice with our logos on it. Pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for.
I'm looking forward to meeting you guys.
Thanks so much for sharing today's episode in the group and for calling in the last few weeks to talk about gaming. I'm excited for next week. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to do the show live.
Yep.
That's the plan, to do the live show from the hotel. It may not be from the con because that's their area. We might end up in the lobby or somewhere else. But Mark, if you're there and you want to hang out, we'll be there.
Okay.
I'll see you next week, man.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care. Thank you.
See you.
That was Mark Stang from Columbus, Ohio. Phone lines back open. I wanted to comment on one thing that Mark talked about, people to play with. So you go with a list of people or games to play, and then next year you go with a list of people to play with. Dang it if it ain't right. Because even on the Dice Tower Con, the first year I went, I played with a young couple, recently married, right? And for the next 2 years following that, we played games again, Robert and I, with that same couple. And you're kind of watching them develop in their relationship. You're seeing them change as people, right? And then there was this one crazy couple we played Champions of Midgard with. And then the following year, we played with them again, right? And so it's kind of, it's saying hi to folks.
Right.
And looking around to see, do I see them again? And there was a dad and a son in the war game room that there was 2 years in a row. We made sure to play games with the dad and son in the war game room. With you got to join us, William, with for the large game of Command and Colors.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You talking about the one where Rob rolled the horrible dice?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I can't. How can you?
The one where Richard Borg was stunned as to how poorly Rob rolls.
He goes, statistically, you just broke the game.
So that's why Rob doesn't play dice games anymore?
No, that's why he doesn't roll. That's why he doesn't play Command and Colors anymore.
All right, we got a call coming in. Beans and Dice Podcast. State your name. Where are you calling from?
Hey, guys. This is Wayne from Tampa. How you doing?
Hello, hey. Wayne. I see that you're in the chat room. You were confirming or concurring that Captain Sonar for the win.
Yeah.
We all agree.
It's a good one, especially at night.
You have not played with us, though.
It's fun now.
Do you remember that first time we played it with that drunk wife?
Oh, that drunk. There's a drunk. It wasn't the wife. I think it was
No. The girlfriend, maybe?
It wasn't even a girlfriend. It was a female friend of theirs.
So this dude and this chick showed up and played with us.
Yeah,
Mark.
he was
Wayne.
He was interested in her, but she was not interested in him. You had
Wow,
to
you
listen.
picked up all that?
Yes, because I was a radio guy and she was the other person, so I was like,
Dude, she was
had
the
to listen to
radio.
her.
Oh, okay.
She
And
was the
she was
radio
just-
operator for our team, and she was smashed. She was like drunk, and we thought we were screwed.
But she was an idiot.
She
savant
was
drunk.
so on point.
She's like, look, put a mine right there. I'm like, are you sure?
you
And
sure?
she's like, huh? Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, yeah.
Boom, got
I'm
him.
like, what?
She's like, fire a missile there, and we're like, are you crazy? No way. Fire the torpedo. Boom, got him.
That was
I
great.
can't tell you how many times that similar stories have happened at DragonCon over the years. With my game group, we'll be playing a game late at night, either Sonar or Werewolf or some kind of social deduction game, where like a couple will join and it's clear like the girl is joining this social group to like escape the guy, and
That's what happened. That's what happened. But the only problem is he.
I didn't
tagged-
pick up on
he
that.
tagged- man, you guys suck. He tagged. He
Dude, I've been married for like 100 years. I don't pick up on these things.
Yeah.
It's called. What do you call that? So, spatial awareness.
Do you think I got any of that? Look at me.
I noticed it because this girl was just like she had those eyes like kind of like
Save me.
yes. That's what it was. So we
We've had that
stuck her in the
happen a lot
middle.
at the con, especially. Our game group is pretty mixed because a lot of us have been married for a long time, so our wives are with us at DragonCon and Gen Con and stuff. So you get a lot of that at night. But no, I was calling in because the conversation has been interesting to me because I've been trying to convince some of my game group to go to like these smaller game cons, right? Where it's just board gaming all weekend. And like the guys I game with and their wives, and they're like, well, we could just do that on our own. We could just go to a hotel for a weekend or rent a house for a weekend. We don't need to pay, go to the thing. They want to go to the big cons, right? They would Gen Con and Dragon Con and these other ones where it's like, yeah, we can game, but we can also do all this other stuff that we can't normally just go do and game on our own. And I'm like, wow, like I kind of want to go to one of these. I kind of want to go to a game weekend where it's just 4 or 5 days of just nothing but gaming. I haven't done that in so long, where it's just I play games for 5 days straight. I go to these cons and I end up doing cosplay and competitions and dance parties and all this other stuff. It's like, well, I want to game too, you know?
I want to hang out with Wayne, bro.
I mean, I just came from Gen Con this year, and I was just my thing was like, I didn't game a lot. That was weird.
Yeah, you don't game. I mean,
yeah,
I do True Dungeon, and we're doing cosplay, and we're doing all this other stuff, and you do some gaming, but not as much as you want to do. And it's like, but I'm always afraid to be like the only guy there. Right? I don't know anybody. Am I gonna find like I'm worried like you guys talk about there's gonna be 80 guys who are gaming. So my fear is like, oh well, that's it's Speed's Nice group. They're gonna be gaming, and they're gonna have 7 or 8 guys. So getting any game with them is gonna be pretty rough. So it's like, how do you like convincing that solo person to just show up and hope for the best? It's rough, and that's why I like that one guy, the Mark's comment about. He went with a list of games, and then the next year went with a list of people. Well, that's kind of cool. It's encouraging to be like, well, you can go even if you don't have a game group already defined when you go there because you're going to find gaming.
That's how I started, and then I ended up running into these two. Look what happened.
You had, and that was pretty cool because William and I played X-Wing together like years, and I would see him at tournaments and events. But to see him at Dice Tower outside of that one competitive game we played, and then saying let's just hang out and play a bunch of different games, I got to meet William in a different way. It was outside of that competitive scene. Another piece that Wayne talks about that I think stands out for me, Wayne, is the cons just for gaming. Like I've got a buddy, Barry. We all love Barry, but Barry can be a bit of a downer sometimes. Barry says that going to cons is worthless. We can do it here. And he's kind of right because we put together these game days. We have another one coming up this weekend, folks. Normally it's second Saturday. I'm sorry, I got to interrupt. Normally it's second Saturday, but because of Dice Tower Retreat, we're making it first Saturday. It'll be at your turn this Saturday, game day. Either way, we usually get 20, 25. Sometimes I think we got up to 30 people one time. So it is almost like a mini con. However, and we talk about this at work. I do insurance work, claims work. There's a difference with working like catastrophe at home because you still have to go home that night. You still got to feed the kids. You still got to clean the house. You still got to do all those other things. When you're on catastrophe duty away from work, right, on site, you don't have any of those things to think about. You just focus on the cat duty. It's the same with cons. When you're doing a game day at home, I still got to go home and make sure the kids are ready for tomorrow. But at a con, I don't have to worry about the house, feeding the cats. I don't got to worry about cleaning. I'm just going to play games nonstop till I fall out. Great point, Wayne.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like even Mark in the comments was saying like some of my game group says, oh well, we can go on a cruise and just go as a big cruise as a group and game, or we can go and rent a house and do our own game weekend, but it never happens.
But then
that's what Mark Stang just said in the comments. He says I kept saying the same thing. I can do the weekend thing myself, but never got around to making it happen.
Well, not only that, but you end up doing it with the same people. If you go to convention, like I said, when I go to convention, I'll split from the group and I'll go, all right, I'm going to play with some random folks because one year we were at the last Dice Tower we were at. Yep. Before this one, I split off from you guys. I went to go play a game. I played with a heart surgeon from Germany. That was, I mean, when am I going to ever have that experience again? I played with a doctor from Germany who's a heart surgeon. I'm like, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm on vacation. I want to go see Disney, and I'm a board gamer. And I'm like, oh, okay. So he was only there for like 2 days, and then the rest of the days he was at the resorts at the Disney World.
Well, also talking about playing games, you have tells and things. Now you're going to go play with new people who don't know your play style.
Yep.
And you might have a different chance of winning with your play style as opposed to playing like with Nick.
That's a good point because Rob will always know what I want to do.
Right.
Oh yeah, so, everyone knows what you want to do.
To punch you in the face.
So you get different experience.
Become different when you're playing with strangers.
Right. When you play Sheriff of Nottingham was a really good game when you go with random folks because you can just lie, and I'm a bad liar. But that game I won. I said a bunch of people. I'm like, yeah, there's 4 cheese in there. And then you open it up, there's like, like 6 roosters in there or something like that. I'm like, okay. But they don't know me.
Maybe I need to, I haven't done that yet. I haven't separated from the group.
You should, I think everyone should at least try it once and just play just for a day. You don't have to do it like all day, but a couple of games with just random folks. And then you'd even let yourself open to games you would not normally play. And you when you play with other folks that, you have no experience from, you'd be like, oh, there's no barrier in front of me.
There's no baggage.
There's no baggage. I can lose this game and not care because I may never see these folks again. Or I can stomp them into the ground if I want to in this game.
But playing with a whole new group of people, it might give you a different perspective on the game when you walk away.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah.
So good point, Wayne. Good point.
And even at bigger cons, I agree. You break off for a day or do your own events, from the group. And I think if the unfortunate thing is a lot of groups tend to not do that, and people just they go to a con and they're in their little group the entire time. It's like sometimes you need to break out and try new things. Yeah, it's cool. I appreciate it. It's a good topic because it makes me I've been thinking about trying to sign up for one of these Dice Tower things over and over again, and I've been hesitant because I'm like, I know a lot of my game group's not going to go, and I'm going to probably end up being the only dude there that I know, and so it's
that plunge,
encouraging.
Man.
So
we got to get you out to a game day, Wayne.
Soon. Yeah, definitely.
You got to teach me Rococo.
I promise.
Rococo. I got to learn Rococo.
I was planning on, honestly, I was planning on coming out to the game day this weekend, but I cannot because we got an appointment for my son to get his vaccine. So that's like priority 1 right there.
And that's the reason the con works great because I ain't got to worry about it. I'm not even in town. Honey's got to figure it out.
I just clicked on me. I think I know Wayne. Wayne Molina?
No, Cougar. Wayne Kruger.
Cougar, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Different Wayne.
Yeah.
He's got a 727 number, but he's on this side of the bay.
Yeah, I'm calling. Well, I'm working from home in Tampa, but I'm calling from my work computer, and my computer is my phone, so that's why it's got the 727.
Okay. I thought he was St. Pete Wayne, but then I found out, no, he's not St. Pete Wayne.
No, Lutz.
Which is not far from me. I'm right on Sinclair Hill, boss. I'm right here next to Sinclair Hills. I'm not far. We got to get you in the studio.
15-minute drive, really.
You got to pick a day, man. Come join us as a caller who finally comes in as a guest. That's what Mitchell did.
Good.
But he came from Louisiana. Mad respect.
He came from Louisiana. He won because he came from farther away.
Yeah, but he didn't come here for you.
He came here for the games. Yeah. All right, Wayne. Have a good night, man.
But definitely, hey, Rococo coming up. I'll teach you guys and bring the deluxe version of Rococo and we'll get going.
That's a game that I would not have normally played, and that was one of the games that I got to play at one of the Dice Tower, and it's a good game.
I would have never played it until Wayne brought it up. The whole idea of it's fashion. It's not my thing.
But it's a really good, resource management worker. It's a good one.
Yeah, I will let Wayne teach me.
Yeah.
Sounds good, guys.
Take care. Have a good night.
All right. Have fun next week.
Yeah, let's catch up on the chat stream here. We got Christian Adventure Gamer talks about great news. My copy of Hero Quest from Hasbro Labs will be in next week. And right back at you, homie. Great news. I got the email saying that my copy of the mythic level of Hero Quest shipped today.
I missed out on that. I should have jumped on that. But
so I'm hoping
Yeah.
it'll be here in time for us to take with us.
Well,
I knew he was gonna get it, and I missed out on it. So I was like, I didn't have any remorse.
That is the
after.
first game I've ever crowdsourced, right? Because it's not kickstarted. It's Hasbro Pulse.
It's the first game I've ever painted.
It's the first
I was
game I
about to
ever
say the exact
crowdsourced.
same thing.
The first game I ever painted.
I've never played Hero Quest.
Oh,
But hold on, but so I grew up in the hood. We didn't play a lot of games there. I got introduced to D&D by Tim O'Toole here in off of 22nd Street. We went to young middle school together. And then shortly after that, I got introduced to it's all hood, MLK.
yeah,
It's where I grew up. So I didn't learn all that stuff. He brought me into D&D. That got me into Warhammer Quest, which apparently is like a version of Hero Quest.
it's a more
like the
advanced.
on steroids.
Yeah, it's on steroids.
version.
Yeah.
So my buddy, best man at my wedding, friend since 5th grade, Mike Wilson, and I played the crap out of Warhammer Quest. Like, we loved it. So my hope is that I'll get some vibes from that Warhammer Quest love
I don't
that I
know.
can share with my kids.
No, I think I don't know about that because Hero Quest was fun. It's roll to move game, which doesn't do too well today, but it was fun back in the day for what it was because none of us knew what any other games were. We only Monopoly, Trouble, all this other. But
It was amazing to me.
The only problem really though is being the one nerd in town. It was like you had the game and then like you'd get a couple people to try it and play a couple times.
I did not care.
And then you had to
I did not care.
either hand these characters off to the next group of kids who wanted to take the plunge, or you had to like start over.
I did not care.
No, I mean I didn't care either, but
I still got people to play.
No,
the
it was
game.
just me and Mikey. Like, nobody else would play. It was just me and my buddy Mikey. We played the crap out of Warhammer Quest. I was a troll slayer, hence my love for the dwarves, right? That was my first like miniature I ever bought, was a troll slayer character for Warhammer Quest.
so funny story about like when you played with somebody before and then you go to the con and you meet Will there. Well, back in the early 90s when Warhammer was first making its big splash, we've just seen some catalogs. My brother and I are like, this thing is fantastic. This is great. And we found a store. This is in Connecticut. Like a half hour, 45-minute drive. And we're like, my brother just had his driver's license. We go to the store. Of course, they don't have much. But what do I see? I see the kid from down the street that lives from me there playing Warhammer. It's like,
You make eye contact from across the room?
yeah, right.
You're a nerd?
Exactly.
I'm a nerd? We're both nerds?
Well, that's kind of weird because I lived in Plantation back in the day, so I just jumped into Magic the Gathering when it came out, and I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And at the corner of Plantation and Gun by that 7-Eleven, there used to be a small shop there too, and there was another one off of Waters and Limeball in a old plaza where the Publix used to be way back in the day.
Right.
So I used to go play Magic the Gathering there. Then one day I saw this one kid. He walked in. And I was like, wait, he lives 2 doors down from me. He's like, no way. And then and then I realized that his brother also played too. So that's when we always. So I was like, man, why am I going to the shops to play? I just go to the shops, buy my stuff, and we could go to his house or my house and play. And that was interesting to see people like. There's people in my neighborhood who play this game because I thought I was weird at that time playing Magic the Gathering. This is back early 90s as well.
Right. It's just like going back to just meeting new people, It's people who share your passion. And like when I worked in the industry, I loved going to the shows and meeting the other people from the other offices. And of course, we'd be emailing each other and be like, hey, is the company going to send you on this trip? And sometimes I'd be like, no. I'm like, oh man, what the fuck?
Right.
Why aren't you going to be there? And sometimes it was depressing. But another thing too, when Mark was talking about like building the shelves, a lot of people don't know, like at some places, like if you go to New York, you can't set up your own show. You have the union.
Yeah, union's taking that.
So they might not be familiar with your setup and they might do something wrong or not get it right. and you got to go back and fix it anyways.
Yeah, because you did it was Mayday?
Well, Mayfair. We don't have to do any name dropping.
We don't, but I'm dropping names because I knew a guy who worked for Mayfair. Look at me.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to experience some of the inside stuff, like where Rob and I, we just attend for fun. We're there for our own pleasure. You had to work that stuff.
Right.
Different side of the story.
And obviously trading the new games away for other new games from other companies was fun too.
Yeah, getting the like swapping baseball cards.
Yep, exactly what it was.
Let's see. That was Christian Adventure Gamer talking about Hero Quest, and then towards the bottom, once we got on topic, it was great because Mark says his copy's arriving the day he gets on the plane. So I'm saying, listen, I'm going Wednesday and Thursday to the convention. I'm driving back Thursday night. Friday, when the kids come out of school, we're taking the kids and the family coming back to Dice Tower Retreat to our hotel. Wow. So my hope is that my copy will arrive before Friday evening. So when I head out Friday back to Orlando, I should have my copy, and I want to get that to the table.
I just want to see how it's gonna play. If they basically gave it the new 2021 rule sets.
Friday at 3 a.m. with some Taco Bell that I brought. From
God,
it's going to be a great time to play it.
At 3:00 in the morning. Half the order is going to be missing.
And we got 8 dudes in one hotel room.
8 dudes with stomachs that just
with one commode.
I ain't working, man.
That's going to be awesome.
You got to rent the room that's adjacent that has that door and just use that for the people to go.
No, there are public bathrooms in the convention area.
The rule has been established.
If you got to do number 2,
if you got to go,
you got to go outside.
outside.
You got to find a public restroom for number 2. Bathroom is only for number 1, showers and brushing your teeth. That's it. Let's see here. Mark Stang says no tournament games other than the big pitch car event, which is cool.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, they always have the pitch car set up.
I also want to say too, I love competitive play, but I cannot stand having to go to a con to play a competitive game because don't you just feel stuck?
No. Every time
no.
I go to a con, I try to find tournaments to play in. I played and won at CMON Expo. I won the Song of Ice and Fire tournament and got all the loot that's up there.
How much of a time sink was that?
It was a few hours, but I'm fine with it because I don't have a lot of friends here, and the community here isn't big enough to really enjoy that. So getting to play against other people was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to a con and you say, oh, well, this is my, Saturday, I'm for 4 hours, I'm playing in this tournament. Okay.
Because I love that game.
I'm done.
I'd rather just be doing other stuff.
You sound like Rob. Rob says that. I'd rather play 8 other games. And I'm like, no, I'd rather play one game for 8 hours. I want to play that one game and get squeeze every little inch out of that game.
Are you guys going to play TI4?
I'm bringing it, but I don't know if anyone's going to play with me. I at least want to get a 3-player game.
I was about to say, haven't you limited it to only 3 players now?
Well, I have not played 3 players. I want to play it at 3 players because Tom Basso talks about how he goes on weeknights to his game night at the local, I think, miniature market. No. Cool stuff. That might be the name of it in his area. And that there's always a group that shows up every weeknight on that one night and they play TI4. And they get it done before the shops close.
Well, it's a great game if you have definitely people who know the game.
But I'm always teaching the game too. I'm always bringing someone new and teaching the game.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem now.
I just can't do 15 hours again. That what happened once.
But that was a full player game
with expansion.
With expansions. Mm-hmm. You guys were crazy.
You watched it on stream. You're crazy for watching.
I was playing Call of Duty on my computer and I had the freaking tablet open and I was like, this is hysterical. So when I die in a game, I can look over and I'm like, and then what happened one moment that happened that made everybody laugh, which I'm not going to talk about.
Oh, when Barry dropped a gas bomb on everyone. All right, in the comments we got Ron Rich says, "Hi guys, Ron. I got to meet Ron Rich yesterday. Was it yesterday? Was it really?
I don't know.
Feels so long ago. Ron Rich reached out to us. He is he's putting together a Kickstarter that just went out for a game called New York Pizza Delivery. And he taught Rob and I how to play last night on Tabletopia, how to play New York Pizza Delivery. It's a tableau building card game, feels a little bit like Ethnos with where you're drawing cards and setting them up in your tableau so you have ingredients available. You're establishing pizzerias within the different villages of New York in order to be able to better efficiently deliver pizzas. Anyway, Rob and I played for a couple of hours with him online, and I was stunned. I was a little trepidatious at first of accepting the offer to learn the game because I don't want to.
So that mean that does have a little area control because of the different colors, or
because you're dropping pizzerias on these different buildings, so you're putting your pizzeria token on there, so you own that building, and then you're upgrading that building by providing different types of ingredients to that building, increasing its delivery range. You use power cards like drones to be able to deliver farther, and then at the end of the game, it was really tight. The score at the end of the game, and Robert and I both agreed that was fun. So Ron in the chat, he is sending us a copy of his prototype to take with us. We're going to bring it with us to Dice Tower retreat. So William, you get a chance to play it. We get to talk about it afterwards. And give our experience with it.
Are you saying I should play that with a random person there?
I will be your random person.
No,
I'm your Huckleberry.
No, you're not.
So hi to Ron. Thanks
you ain't
for
no Daisy.
Thanks for reaching out to us and teaching us the game. We look forward to getting your copy and sharing that at the Dice Tower retreat and playing it again.
Look, there he is.
Hey, it's Rob. I miss you, Rob. Let's see here. Keep it on in the chat.
Version there, Carlos. You look like Mr. Potato Head.
Oh my god.
See, I wasn't sure if I should have cut my hair or not, and it sounds like I shouldn't have cut my hair. Ron says it'll be here on Monday.
You look like you're make a bad decision or something.
Everything I do is a bad decision. Ron is going to call in next week when we do our show live from the Dice Tower to talk a bit about his game and we can share with him the feedback we have from playing it. Let's see who else is in the chat here. Mr. Jeeves from Chicago, Chi-Town. He's talking about the arts and architecture expansion to Tapestry, that it's intriguing to him. I just wonder if it'll change the game to a point where I don't hate it. I just don't love it. Like it just hasn't hit Tapestry. No, nobody else disagrees with me here.
Well, I mean,
and the phone line's open, folks.
I haven't played it.
I've only cracked open the box and looked at the big shinies and said, "Well, those are nice," and that's about it.
Ooh, put it down.
Now we did get to talk to Wayne. He's in the chat. Edmund, England, dropping by. William, what? I keep always messing up where he's from because he's New Zealand, right?
England and New Zealand are like
no.
Worlds
Not
apart.
Edmund from. His name is Edmund, England.
Edmund, England.
Oh, okay.
It's like 3 a.m. over there, and he pops in every show. It's awesome.
Actually, New Zealand, I think, is about almost 12 hours difference from us.
yeah.
Look it up, though.
I gotta write it down. Edmund.
Between me and you, we're probably more inclined to know that kind of stuff.
I gotta have it in my little notebook here somewhere. I write everything down.
Yeah, I can't read that chicken scratch.
No, but Edmund's never called in. I keep telling him to call in, but he says he's in home. Everybody's sleeping. He's just popping in. So thanks for popping in again, Edmund, giving us the ability to say we are an international board game talk show.
Sorry.
Thanks, Edmund.
Sorry.
Mark Stang says he's in here talking about encouraging Wayne to get out and try out a con. Wayne is confirming he will next year, and I'm saying awesome because now we can have 9 dudes in a hotel room splitting the bill.
9.
No. God, no. I'm
9
really.
said the fur line.
I honestly think if I'm gonna go check in, I'm gonna like, do you have an extra room? I'm like, yeah. It says, I don't care what the price is. Give it to me.
We've got Wayne says, my first Dragon Con, I worked as a demo and judge for WizKids, and it sucked. Not worth the pay. After that, I said I was just attending con, not worth the con.
Game, what was that? Was that Mech
No,
Warrior?
it had to be the
Mech Warrior.
No, the
The little click game, Clickix,
Hero Clicks. No,
Hero Clicks. No, that is WizKids.
Yeah, it was kids, but they also had a Mech Warrior clicks game too.
But no, they had the dungeon one. What was the dungeon one?
Mage Knight.
Mage Knight.
No.
Because there was a dungeon version. I used to have it,
I don't know. I thought who did do Mage Knight? Was not
WizKids.
WizKids? Yeah.
which they redid now as like a big solo co-op game.
That's a big game too. Mage Knight. Sorry, I know people who do some of those. They work for the vendors to help. paint.
Robert and I did that. Rob and I did that at Dragon Con for
Cool stuff.
Cool Stuff. Robert's poor legs were so swollen because we did, I think, 2 or 3 days.
See, that's because you guys sit down all day for your job.
Well, I was fine. I was like moving, and Rob's like, "I gotta stop," and he just laid there, just like in the middle of the con. He just laid down right there in the middle of the con. We're watching like cosplay people walk by, and Rob's just laying there.
Well, that's how I got his copy of the Song of Ice and Fire. He wanted I wanted it, and he didn't really want it, and so he just came over and looked at my collection and some stuff I didn't have open yet. And he's like, "Oh, let me take Lords of Vegas." I was like, "All right, go ahead." And I gave him the expansion for it too.
Let's see here. Ron says it'll be here on Monday, so I'll have the copy of the game here Monday. Mark Stank says games I want to play: Foundations of Rome, which that's Arcane Wonder, isn't it? Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Golem and Mobile Markers. Mark also says he's curious to see our opinions on mobile markets, mobile markets, which is the I think is a standalone for Smartphone Inc., which Max was looking at earlier. I love Smartphone Inc.
I think I almost kickstarted this Foundations of Rome. I wasn't sure about it though.
Pull a picture for people to see.
Yeah, put it up there because I don't have a laptop in front of me, y'all.
There you go. You can look up. I got a screen up there for you. Max is new to this. What we do here.
Oh, look at those big shinies.
Yeah, it's
that is pretty plastic. I think Mark, you got a good idea here.
I did.
It is arcade.
I did see this. I remember now.
It is Arcane Wonders. Okay, so my memory is.
I thought about doing this, but I was like, you know what? I got 7 other Rome games coming into the house, so I was like, we'll pull back a little bit.
But this one's all plastic.
Well, what did Augustus say?
Is this like a joke, like a knock-knock joke?
No.
I don't understand.
I found Rome.
What did Augustus say?
I found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble.
Well, this is a 3D printed one.
Max is my war game historical friend, but he actually knows history and I don't, so the jokes are kind of over my head.
That's not a joke.
Well, it wasn't a joke?
No.
It was just a fact?
That's what he said. Man. It's not a joke if it's factual. Oh, man.
Moving on.
You are definitely a...
Edmund England says, I won Tapestry, but have only played it solo, but only a few times. A very interesting game, but too much stuff for what it is. By the way, he says, I'm in Sweden. We got to write this down.
You know what?
How the heck you get New Zealand out of it then?
I don't know. Look at me. Is this geography on with Carlos? No.
I don't know why, but I was going to say, didn't you have a listener from Sweden?
Have you listened to our show? Sounds like you have.
One point in time said we have a listener from the place where they filmed Lord of the Rings.
Well, that's
New Zealand, right?
And I'm thinking like, okay, fine, but no, it's not even close.
See, I think his name throws me off. Edmund, your name of England at the end.
I think we know. I think I know what we need to get Carlos for.
A map?
No, a globe.
Well,
It's
almost the same thing.
All right, so that was Edmund. Thank you from Sweden. Thank you, Edmund, for making us international. Like that's huge.
He would have been if he was in New Zealand. It wouldn't matter.
Wayne says Hero Clicks and Mage Knight. So he was doing the Hero Clicks thing,
Actually,
but
you were
Mage
right
Knight,
twice. No.
Well, you said the HeroClix. I did say Mage Knight.
Oh, okay.
But I was never really a big superhero guy. But when WizKids did the Mech Warrior,
I still have all my Mech Warrior in the garage. I got my Atlas mechs.
Jeez.
I got.
But is it BattleTech or is it
it's the Clicks?
the Clicks?
The what they call that one?
Mech Warrior.
Yeah, Mech Warrior Clicks. I have all the Clicks.
He only said it like 4 times now.
I used to go to Mikey, my buddy Mikey. He and I would go to University Mall and wait for GameStop to open.
Wow.
Kind of had an idea. We call and find out when they're getting their next drop of a box because we really wanted those Atlas mechs, the blue ones with the spiky shoulder pad.
Right.
Oh man, I still have. They're all in my garage.
Well, I sold it, but I got lucky enough to win one of the premiere events and get like the level 7 prize. I think, and it was also an Atlas special paint one.
The black one?
No, this was blue and gray.
Oh, man.
Oh, no one else is called.
That's a throwback. Yep. So that gets us to our 10 o'clock hour. I'm going to go ahead and disable the phone line. We'll do it again next week.
I think a lot of people like to chat, which is fine.
That's fine. I'm learning to read the chat and, and keep the conversation flowing.
You need to read a lot of Was it a joke? I'm not sure.
Mark says he's really hopeful mobile markets because he loves smartphone. I do like smartphone. That is a good one for me. Mitch from Board Game Battles says Foundations of Rome equals Tapestry ripoff.
There was something about me not pulling the trigger on that Kickstarter. I was like, it looks familiar to something. So I just you know what? I got a couple more Roman games coming my way, mostly war type ones.
And let's not forget Rome Total War.
Right, and they just announced, they just released a picture of the board.
Because I have every Total War game on my computer.
Edmund chimed in here too while I pull up the picture.
I even bought the
remastered.
I bought the remastered. Well, because they looked. So Steam looked and said, "Oh, you have a lot of Total War games," and they offered it for
$5,
like $5 for me, and I was like, which was like 75% off, maybe even more than that, because it's like, oh, well, yeah, you already have it, so here. I was like, $5, fine, $5 to get a whole, and I played it, and I was like, it's got some things that I like, and something that optimization is awesome. They added some really cool things to it. Mm-hmm. Does it have that old style feel that I kind of miss from the old game? Yeah, but the best part was you can go back in, you can turn those graphics off if you want that retro. If you want that retro feel and that retro look. But what I do is I leave the retro feeling in the battle, and I turn on the best graphics on the campaign map.
One thing I missed, from Medieval 2, was the trading system. Remember, you actually had to have your guy go to the different towns and actually do the trading?
They brought that back in the remastered of this one.
Okay.
So you do it in this.
All right, so this is the article I found, the Wargamer article, and it's got pictures of what the board is supposed to look like.
Well, that's the game, right? That's the video game
that's
right there.
That's the game, but there was a picture of the board. I remember seeing it today. There it is.
No, that's the game. That's the original game.
It looks like the board. It looks like the board.
That's the
picture of the
game.
board I saw today, I guess, looks like that.
Liar.
Get better internet search skills.
My Google foo is weak right now. But there was an article, and I saw the picture of it. I'll find it eventually. But Edmund confirms his name is confusing because his surname is his mother's, and she is from England. But he was born and bred in Sweden.
Damn.
So it makes me confused. And then Wayne says that he has
somebody like Joe America.
but lives in, I don't know, pick another country.
Spain.
Right. So it's everything's confusing. Wayne says, yeah, I have a steamer trunk full of Mech Warrior and all of the LE figs. The limited edition figs.
I think there's one, yeah.
See, my favorite mechs out of there were the construction mechs. They just look cool. Well, the dozers and the arms.
Right.
And they're so cheap, you can field a bunch of them.
Right. I think I actually do have I have a handful left, in a junk box.
I got a tackle box that I always kept. It's the same damn tackle box I used when I used to play it back when I was in middle school, high school.
That thing is still around.
Yeah, I don't get rid of. I try not to get rid of stuff. It's bad. It's bad. I have a problem, folks. I'm sorry. Well, that's it. That's the end of our show. We will be back next week for the call-in show again Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern. Except for we're going to be doing it live from Dice Tower Retreat.
Oh boy,
I'm excited.
Okay, I'm gonna hold my.
You'll be there.
I'm gonna hold back. Well, I hopefully it goes smoothly.
Yeah, it'll all work out, folks.
I know it's gonna be
You
late.
hope the Taco Bell goes smoothly.
Well,
it always goes smoothly. On that note, I'm Carlos.
I'm William. What are
Max?
you, Max?
We're the Beans and Dice Podcast, a podcast about how we game. We got to get Max caught up on that. We will see y'all next week. Thank you so much for the activity in the chat. The phone calls today were amazing. It makes time fly. It makes time fly when we're doing this. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Adios.
Well, there you
go. Thanks for watching the Beans and Dice Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe.